This is the Retirement Mentality channel. Thank you for coming by. If this is your first time, and if you're returning to the channel, thank you very much for coming back. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to be taken seriously by a realtor. I know a lot of people think I called 10 realtors and nobody called me back and all realtors suck and they can't, do what they're supposed to do. They're not following up with me, and people just can't understand why these realtors who work on commission just aren't treating them like gold. And today I'm going to teach you how to be treated like gold by the realtors. Being a realtor is a lot like being a doctor or a lawyer in a lot of social settings. Everybody always has a real estate question for you. I'm sure if you're a foot doctor, you get all the time, well, what's this on my toe, doc? Or if you're a lawyer, you get lots of legal questions when you're at parties as well. Being a real estate agent is no different. People always want to know, what's the hot market? What's the market like? Where should I buy something? Do you got any deals you can show me? And the people who are asking those questions are not serious buyers. So if you're at a party and you meet a guy, or even if you're friends with an agent and you say, hey, let me know when you see a good deal, they're not going to call you and tell you every time there's a good deal, because more than likely you're not a serious buyer. I don't mind giving out free advice. I don't mind telling people what the market's like. I have a YouTube channel. I'm used to giving out free advice all the time. But if you want to be on my short list of people who actually get emails with the good deals, I'm going to tell you how to get that information. The problem is all this free advice that I give out is worth what people pay for. They don't take me seriously. They don't follow up with me. They talk to other agents. They'll ask me 10 questions about a property, then they'll end up calling the listing agent, or they'll ask me 10 questions about how to list their property, and then they'll end up being a for sale by owner. I'm not a starving agent anymore, so it doesn't make me as mad as it used to make me, but it's still pretty frustrating. I've had friends do it. I've had acquaintances do it. It's cost me a few friendships of people that I just decided if that's how they're going to treat me, then maybe they're not people I need to hang around anymore. And that's the seriousness of it. At some point in your life, you have to decide what you're willing to put up with. It's like loaning money to a friend. You just have to decide, is the friendship worth the $400 you're going to loan the person if they never pay it back, or are you just going to consider it a gift? Because that happens all the time as well, and that's cost me friendships as well. So I equate the two things together. Business and friendship are separate, but if you want to commingle them, you got to figure out what you're willing to put up with in those types of situations. But I digress. So I decided to make a list of 5 things that can help you get treated seriously by your real estate agent. And if you're a real estate agent and you're watching this video, this can give you some tips on how to also qualify your buyers. You can use these things as questions to your buyers to qualify your buyers. And if you are watching this and you're a realtor, I just came out with a really cool new t-shirt. Look in the description below. There's a link down there that says, trust me, I'm a realtor. It's a really cool shirt. Check it out. Buy it if you're a realtor. It helps support the channel. And if you're a buyer watching this video, like I said, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to get realtors to take you seriously and tell you when they find those good deals. So let's get into it right now. Okay, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to establish trust with your realtor. Your realtor needs to be able to trust you. Like I said, a lot of times people try to glean information out of realtors and then they don't use that realtor after they get all the information from. So you've got to be able to establish trust. Your realtor has to know that you're serious and that you're working with that realtor and only that realtor. So tell them right up front, hey, look, I don't want to work with 5 realtors. I want to work with one realtor. I want you to be that realtor. And then tell them what you expect. Say, I like to be contacted by email. I like to be contacted by text. I like to be contacted by phone. And again, tell them what you expect. Tell them you want a daily update, a weekly update, or a monthly update, depending on where you are in the buying process. And that's the second thing. This is still tip 1. But the other thing you need to do to establish trust is be honest with the agent and tell them what your motivation level is. Tell them how quickly you're looking to buy something. Tell them, I'm looking for a week away, a month away, a year away, 6 months away. I'm just in the beginning process, or I'm ready to pull the trigger. I'm ready to buy something, and tell them where you are in the process so they know how much to focus in on you. If you tell me you're a year away, that's great. I'd love to start working with you now, and I'd love to start establishing that relationship, but you probably don't need a daily phone call from me. You might need a weekly or a monthly update on what the market's doing so you can keep your finger on the market, and I'm happy to put you on a campaign that will do exactly that for you. Okay, number 2. Do what they tell you. You might be a seasoned investor. You might have 100 properties under your belt. But if a realtor if your real estate agent tells you, hey, look, man, this is a hot market, you need to have a pre-approval letter or a proof of funds letter so that if we walk into the perfect house today, you need to write an offer today, and they won't look at offers without these two items, without either a proof of funds or a pre-approval letter. They're not telling you that just to give you extra work. They're telling you that to save time so that you don't find the perfect property. Then you have to call a bank. Then you have to get a pre-approval. You wait 3 days for that. And in the meantime, 3 more offers got put on that property when you could have swooped in and got it. So listen to their advice. Do what they tell you. They're not going to make up busy work for you to do. They're going to make work to consolidate their efforts so that we can get it done as quickly and efficiently as possible. I recently had a guy tell me, like, look, I'm not going to get a pre-approval letter. I'm not going to go through all that trouble with the bank and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, I might not be the agent for you to work with then. If you're telling me you're ready to buy a property, but you're not willing to take that step, we can't make an offer. In the market where I am right now, especially with COVID, we can't get in the door to even show properties unless we present the listing agent with either a pre-approval or a proof of funds letter, especially in the higher markets, like over $1 million. They're not even going to let you in the house without those things. So if you're not willing to take that step or do what a realtor tells you to do, I just told the guy, like, I'm probably not the realtor for you. You might find somebody who's willing to give you a free tour of the island, but that's not me. I'm looking to work with serious buyers. So listen to what they're telling you. It's for a reason. That same advice is true when it comes time to make an offer. A good agent is not going to tell you what you should offer on a property, because then you're going to blame that agent if you don't get the property. So I never tell people you should offer X number of dollars for this price point, whatever. I'm going to say, look, this is a competitive market and this thing's been on the market for 1 day. And if you don't make an offer probably pretty close to full price, you're probably not going to get a response, or you're going to get a counter that's not going to be what you're expecting. Or I might tell you, hey, look, this property's been on the market for 6 years. I know the listing agent. I know that nobody's even looked at this property for 6 months. So let's come in low. Let's see where we end up. But you need to listen to their advice when you're structuring an offer. So listen to the advice they're giving you when you're structuring an offer. You don't have to take their advice. You can offer whatever you want, but I would strongly suggest most agents, if they're a good agent, they have their finger on the market and they know where you should come in with an offer. And a lot of agents, I'll always talk to the listing agent before I present an offer to try to find out what type of offers have been made or where the property's at. They don't always tell me. I just had an instance where a property had been on the market for 6 months and the agent told me, no, we don't have any other offers. So just take your time, bring an offer when you're ready. Then it took my buyers a week to get a pre-approval letter, which they needed to submit an offer. This is a real story. This is what I was telling you about before. It took them almost 10 days to get a pre-approval letter because they didn't have their tax returns in order, and the bank was requiring them to get all these things, and they weren't hurrying, and it took them a while to get things together. And then they came in with kind of a low offer because the property had sat on the market for a while, which I thought was a decent place to start. But somebody else had looked at it in those 10 days while they were trying to get their paperwork together. The listing agent said, hey, I've got another offer coming in any day now. I'm just waiting for their pre-approval letter. And those people made an offer above full price, and that agent didn't tell me that the other offer came in. So by the time my offer came in, she said, oh, sorry, we already got a full price offer and we're not accepting any backup offers at this point. So those people missed out on that property. So that's a real true life story of why you need to have your ducks in a row. You need to have your pre-approval letters, and you need to listen to advice on how to structure deals. Number 3 goes back to kind of what I said in the intro of, like, don't just randomly ask agents to let you know when they find a good deal, because they're never going to call you back if that's your motivation level, that you're just going to sit at home with your feet up and just wait for the agents to go comb the planet for some person that they've met one time at a cocktail party to send them the best deal they've ever found. They're not going to do it. So if you're a serious buyer, what you need to do is you need to be proactive and go back to step 1, establish trust and loyalty with your agent. Tell them you're a serious buyer. And then in step 3 here, what you need to do is be proactive, especially in the beginning. I'm happy to take a look at the MLS as many times as you want to email me and tell me what you're looking for. You know, you've got to be specific. Don't just say, I'm looking for any kind of property in the south side of town or the east side of the island or near a beach somewhere in Florida. I can't scour that for you. It's too broad. Like, if you can be specific, and I can help you drill down on what you're looking for, but be specific and be proactive and ask me to go and look for deals. So depending on your motivation, if you're looking 2 years out to buy something, don't call me every day and ask me what's new on the market today. But if you're ready to pull the trigger and we've been working together or whatever, at any point in the stage, I'm always happy when somebody calls me and asks me, you know, what's new this week, what's new this month, have you seen anything with the pool under $400,000 in this neighborhood or in this location? I'm happy to look and pull that up for you. And number 5 is sort of like that. I'll transition right into get your realtors set you up on a drip campaign. You know, once you know what your specific property is that you're looking for, I can set you up to get property alerts so you'll know about it coming on the market or getting an offer or having a price drop or anything that happens with any of the properties in your little realm of what you're looking for. I can set you up on an automatic email campaign. We call it a drip because it drips into your email every day if you want it, or every week, or however often you want it. I can set it up. So get set up on that drip so that you know exactly when something comes on the market. But on the other hand, I also can see when you open up those emails. So if you want to get put on a drip and you tell me you're a super motivated buyer and you're going to buy something in the next 3 weeks, and then I look on my computer and I see that you haven't opened up an email in your drip campaign for the past 2 weeks, I know this guy's not serious because he's not looking for anything. I'm already sending you the information and you're not even clicking on it. So I know that you're not serious. I can look in there. I see people that I sold property to 2 years ago that asked to just stay on their drip so they could watch what happens in the neighborhood. And those people a lot of those people look every day or every week at those things, and they'll call me, and a lot of them are still looking for a second property. So I can see the motivation levels of people that I didn't even know were buyers that I already sold something to, and I know to hit them up every once a month. I might just call them and say, hey, how's it going? You guys looking for any more properties? And they'll go, gosh, yes, Jeff, that's funny. We were just looking at the drip that you sent us. And I'm like, I know, because I saw you opened up 3 in the past 3 days and you hadn't looked at anything for 3 weeks. So I know you're starting to look again. So know that we're watching to see what you're doing, and we know what you're doing inside of that drip. And number 5 is sort of a summation of all these things wrapped up to one. But again, it's be honest and be specific. You know, just tell me your time frame of what you're looking for and tell me your real budget. And don't be embarrassed if your budget is low for the market that you're looking at. I need to know that. I don't want to show you $400,000 houses and you can only afford a $250,000 house because maybe there's only 3 $250,000 houses in that market you can afford. We can knock those out, and then we can see if you're ready to buy one or if you got to wait. Because if you can't afford the $400,000 houses, let's not go look at them. I also get a lot of people, they'll call me up and they'll see one of my for sale signs, or they'll find an internet ad, or they'll see one of my videos and they'll call me and I'll say, great, I'd love to show you some properties, or start sending you some properties in your email so we can kind of see what you're looking for. But the first question I ask is, what is the budget that you're looking to stay in? And I'm telling you, seriously, like 7 out of 10 people will say, there's no budget. There's always a budget. So I always say, I've learned, this is a good tip for you other realtors too. I always say, oh my God, that's great to hear. I love when a client doesn't have a budget, because I just got a new $5 million listing. It hasn't come on the market yet. I can go show it to you. You can be the first one to look at it before, and they'll interrupt me like, whoa. Then they have to say, they get a little bit embarrassed and they're like, oh, Jeff, I can't afford a $5 million house. And I go, oh, okay, so there is a budget. So tell me a little bit more about your budget. Well, I could get anything. Well, we just established you can't. Tell me what your real budget is. So that's the first thing we got to narrow down, is what your budget is. So just be honest about those things. Everybody always wants to act like they can afford more than what they can, but it's just wasting everybody's time. Be honest about your budget. Be specific about what you're looking for, and be honest about your time frames. And that will gain you a lot of respect and street cred right out of the gate. Okay, so that's 5 quick tips on how to get taken more seriously by a real estate agent, to get the good leads, to get the attention that you need and that you are expecting. And if you're not doing those things and you're complaining about bad realtors, that could be the problem. So follow this advice, and I guarantee you that realtors will give you more time, more attention, and you will feel the love that you've been seeking. And like I said, if you're a realtor, look down below for the link to my new t-shirt that I just put on Amazon. It's cool. You need to buy it. It helps support me. And if you are a realtor, or you're a buyer, or even a seller, or an investor, and this kind of information might have been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to the channel, and please hit the like button down there. And if you do subscribe, ring the bell down there. It lets you know every time I put out a new video. And apparently that's the algorithm's new big thing is the ringing the bell down there. So please subscribe, like it, hit the bell, do all that, and I will make more content for you for that love of which you have given me. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.